Hello and welcome to episode 148 of Sutton Impact Family Style. I'm Jason.
I'm Bill, and I'm going to start off with a couple business moments. Another shocker for me. So the University of Kentucky reduced the capacity of their arena by 3,000 seats to 20,545. I mean, it was a massive arena, all right?
Right?
But Kentucky fans still aren't coming close to packing it. The announced attendance for games against Evansville, where the Wildcats lost, and Utah Valley State was 19-1 and 18-559. But the actual count in the building, the count of the turnstiles,
Yeah.
was about 12,000.
Oh, wow.
But it just means that, at Kentucky, you're used to a certain level of basketball. And you're not going to go out and see Utah Valley State. And you're probably not going to go out and see Evansville. So even though you have the tickets, you're not going to use them. But the fact that Alabama has talked about declining attendance for students in Alabama football, and Kentucky's talking about declining attendance for Kentucky basketball. Those are two of the real stalwarts of sport marketing. And so it's hard for me to really blow that. I mean, it just shows me how fractionalized the market is and how people find there's a lot of things for people to do, and they're not necessarily wanting to sit and watch something live.
No, I get, you said the students at Alabama aren't filling it up, right?
Yeah, but that was not for like the Auburn game and things like that. That was for, the non-conference games.
Still, though, you figure that's, 6-7 games a year you get to see your football. I mean,
yeah.
And as a student, I get why if you're, a family of four and, it's like you said, it's Evansville or somebody, you're like, you know what, we got a lot of stuff to do this week, kids have to practice, but if you're a student on campus, why are you not going to every game?
Yeah.
That one is shocking. Wow.
And so the other thing is, and this one I'm going to run by you because you are a Star Wars fan. So NBA teams are prepping for a promo. They have the rights to Disney Star Wars.
Okay.
Around the release of Rise of Skywalker. So 17 NBA teams are going to hold Star Wars nights. And, I thought, maybe they can do Star Wars uniforms, but they're not doing Star Wars uniforms.
Oh, they should do Star Wars uniforms.
What they're going to do is they get licensing and promotional rights. So you can see Stormtroopers and R2-D2 and Yoda walking around the arena. You can see especially merchandise with branded T-shirts, apparel. Some teams are going to give up bobbleheads. Teams have the rights to Star Wars characters from the movie for in-arena promotions. They can give away tickets to local movie screenings. So 17 of the 30 teams decided to do that. But the one team that's going to do it more than anybody else is, not surprisingly, the Orlando Magic.
Right.
So in the Magic Star Wars night, the team will have stormtroopers at the entrance points and other characters roaming the concourses. And in the Magic Entertainment, their on-court team will be dressed up in Star Wars costumes, and fans are going to be encouraged to attend the game in costume. And they're going to have themed player introductions as part of the night. And I've seen that before. I've seen the baseball do it, where they make the player into the caricature. Like, you still tell it's him, but he's dressed up like whoever he's going to be dressed up as.
Yeah.
So, but what do you think about the Star Wars promotion for the NBA? You need it, or you think it's just smart business? What do you think it is?
I think it's smart business. I mean, it's obviously a one-time, short-term kind of thing. But I think that's a way to, if you're a dad and your kids aren't really into basketball, that's a great way to get into the game.
That's a great point.
I mean, if they're into Star Wars, maybe all of a sudden they're like, oh, basketball is cool too. I think, obviously in the TikTok, social media, everything is picture age. I mean, now I go to the game, I get to take a picture with a Stormtrooper or Darth Vader. Like, that's a social media outing that I'm going to go to, that I get to,
You're right. That's probably a real big draw.
I mean, it's lame that that's a draw, and I know that's an old man saying and whatever, but that would get you out to watch a game, and so I can take a picture with a Stormtrooper and put it on my,
No, but I can see you bringing your kid. I like that, trying to get the kid to like things that you like, and that's the way to do it. I like that.
I really wish
I think that's a good point.
Yeah, I wish they made jerseys. I don't know what they would do, but I think jerseys could be really cool.
Yeah, the colors could be pretty cool, and the effects you could have on the jerseys would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I know people would buy them because I saw the Timberwolves Prince uniform last year sell like crazy. And the Heat's Vice uniforms have sold like crazy for 3 years.
Yeah, and I think Star Wars fans might even buy NBA Star Wars jerseys, like the real hardcore ones. Besides, obviously,
Yeah.
NBA fans and rappers and everybody else. Like, in my mind, I don't even know what they look like, and I don't even wear jersey very often. But I'm like, I might want a Star Wars NBA jersey
You never know.
because it might be cool. Well, I'm thinking about Miami Vice and what the Heat did with. I know Miami Vice isn't exactly like technically the movie or TV show tie-in, but I thought it'd be pretty cool.
It ties into Miami, but they do such a good job. I mean, their intro video, and their game entertainment, and the way they dress and everything, and the promos that they do as the players are all pretty cool. They do the Heat. The Heat does the best job. And then I tell you that the Heat. There was a flight from Miami to Madrid, and the Heat put they took all 150 seats and put a Miami Vice jersey on the seats.
Yeah, you said that. That's really cool.
I think that was amazing. They're just so smart. I mean, people talk about it. That's what you want to have happen.
I guess when you sort of tie in story 1 and story 2 into the same universe, obviously. I mean, because if you do a Star Wars night, that big of a property, or maybe even a Marvel night, a DC night, Fast and Furious night, whatever kind of night, you're guaranteed to probably get a lot of people out.
Yeah.
But as everything declines, like you can't go to that well very often.
No.
Maybe once or twice a year you can do something like that. So.
But maybe get you enough publicity that people say, "Oh, I had a really good time. Maybe I want to go back," and that's what you hope for.
Yeah, like I know they've done a good job of Obviously, there's been way better food. I think the prices of food have been better on top of that, and they've been some of those in arena things. There's nothing you can do about parking.
Well, switching gears, what's your take on the college football playoff? I like the 4 teams that got in. It's the first year for me where I don't have any controversy.
Yeah, I think everything played out perfectly for that committee. Utah got destroyed. A lot of people felt LSU was the number 1 team, and Ohio State's struggles in the first half at least made that open up. Oklahoma beat Baylor. I mean, I don't even know who. No one really has an argument, do they?
No, I mean
Georgia got their doors blown off by LSU.
Everybody that's not in has 2 losses.
Yeah,
except for like Appalachian State and Boise State.
Right.
But all the Power Fives, everybody has 2 losses. Georgia's got 2. I think Auburn has 2 or 3. Minnesota's got 3. Wisconsin's got 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Pac-12 is
really
bad.
Really wound it out. But, the only controversy probably is should LSU be 1 or should Ohio State be 1? And if you were making Georgia 4, and you thought Georgia was the 4th best team in Ohio, and LSU just waxed them,
yes,
then I didn't see any way you couldn't put LSU number 1. So I was pretty happy with that.
Yeah. And I mean, if you're the best team, you win your 2 games regardless of who you're playing. So.
And I really like both matchups.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be 2 great games. I think all 3 of the games are going to be really good.
Now it seems like it seems like the seeding is right too. I mean, Clemson is sort of that wild card where not wild. I mean, they won the championship last year. They have an incredible amount of talent, but they didn't really play anybody all year, and they look not as dominant. So they're the one team that you don't know like how good are they. Not that you know any of these teams technically, but
no. And Oklahoma won the conference and beat the number 2 team in the conference twice, which and they beat a lot of ranked teams.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm good with it all.
But, I mean, I think LSU, sadly, will probably roll Oklahoma.
I'm hoping. I'm a big Ed Ogeron fan. And plus, I get a root for Oklahoma, but I'm a big Ed Ogeron fan. I like him a lot. I mean, he is focused. No bullshit. I like him a lot.
But the Ohio State-Clemson game, I have no idea about that one.
I have no idea either because Ohio State has looked bizarre. Like the other night, I turned it off, but I knew. I turned it off. Actually, the first half they get their ass kicked. The second half, as soon as they got ahead, I knew they weren't going to lose. So I mean, they're real streaky. But if they're playing a good enough team, then maybe you can't afford to be streaky.
No. So right now, who is your prediction?
I could see LSU winning it all.
Yeah, if I had to bet money on it, I would bet LSU, and not just because I live in Louisiana and I've been sort of indoctrinated with purple and gold everywhere, as long as not black and gold. So
And like I said, the hard one to pick is the Ohio State Clemson game, because we've all seen Ohio State a bunch of times, and we've seen Clemson play anybody good. So it's hard to say what they have. I mean, I love that kid as a quarterback. I usually love their defense, but what are they going to be when they're playing a really tough team?
And I think, I mean, they're the quiet number 3 team. As weird as that is the defending national champions, because they started out, they had a couple of stumbles early in the year, and then then they got to play their in-conference schedule, and their conference isn't a great conference, and they just rolled. And I think nobody really ever, they were never really a discussion, because Trevor Lawrence doesn't come out. He's got another year in college, so he wasn't come out to be in the pros, so there was almost no reason to really talk about Clemson.
Yeah.
Whereas we spent so much time talking about Joe Burrow and LSU. We spent more time probably talking about Utah than Clemson this year, I think. So
yeah, and I was expecting much more out of Utah. I couldn't believe, I was at a holiday party. I got back and they were already down 20, and I'm thinking to myself, wow.
Yeah. But if you're the committee, you're probably as happy as you've ever been. Because, like I said, even me, who's an anti-committee, anti-NCAA person, I don't think anybody can have an argument.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't omit anybody. I still would like to see it expanded to 6 or 8. But that said, I mean, I'm happy this year. So
yeah.
Let's go back. Let's go pro now. I watched the whole 49ers Saints game, and I thought that's one of the best pro games I've ever seen.
There's a lot of points.
It's a lot of points, and a lot of back and forth, which is what I like. And I mean, it came down to the final possession, and it was two great quarterbacks that were playing really, really well. It was fun to watch. Jimmy G showed me a lot. 49ers showed me a lot. To go into that building and win.
Yeah.
And, the only 2 games they've lost at the buzzer twice. They lost by 3 points and 3 points.
It's true.
And I actually thought they were going to lose by 3 again today.
And obviously, I have a lot of Saints friends that I live in New Orleans. I would just warn them, you're on the verge of becoming the Rockets with your whining about officiating. There's a bad call. I mean, the one in the playoff last year was one of the worst calls in NFL history. Bitch all you want. Have a parade about it every year. That's fine. But every nitpick call you get every single week, it happens to every single team in the NFL on a week-to-week basis. The refs aren't perfect, so.
Well, I got to say that I watched 3 different games today, and in each of the 3 games, there was a horrible call or a non-call. Horrible call or a horrible non-call.
Oh, yeah.
So you're right.
And I know, like I said, I mean, obviously, when I watch the Steeler game, I feel like the Steelers are getting jobbed on calls.
Yep.
But, I mean, I just feel like Saints fans have, the last, couple of years now, Facebook just, again, now that I live and work in New Orleans, I have a lot of contacts, and in Twitter and all my New Orleans people, just every single call, they're just obsessively whining.
You know what the New Orleans people have to worry about? Why Kittle got a 40-yard run after the catch in the last minute of the game. Why they couldn't bring him down even when they were yanking on his face mask.
And not letting go.
No. That was an impressive run. That guy's a beast. I mean, he's Gronk-like without being as big as Gronk.
He is. Because he can block as well. He's a full, legitimate tight end.
He's really, really special. So I think that game's a big statement for the 49ers. I look for big things in the 49ers in postseason.
And they're still a wild card at this point, despite having 2 losses.
They are still a wild card at this point. And they could be playing a 500 Dallas team.
Yeah. Because sort of like Clemson, Seattle's been a little bit under the radar all year, despite the fact that they have 10 wins.
Yeah. They play tonight, they play tomorrow night.
I believe they play tonight.
Or are they off?
No, I think they play tonight. Well, they're 10-2, so were they off this week? No, they play tonight. I'm 99% sure.
They play the Rams tonight.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the Rams are, kind of out of it.
The Rams are hit and miss.
Yeah.
They're so inconsistent. Yeah, that was an interesting game. I'll give you a Steeler moment. Go ahead, talk about the Duck.
Well, I feel like this is a weird situation. On the one hand, it's fun to root for a team of young players, a couple of vets, an undrafted rookie quarterback who wasn't even invited to the combine, who keep
Yeah,
winning. But as we talk, back and forth in our text chains, I know they're winning and they're winning with defense, but I feel like if they want to, it seems like they're trying to win, which obviously every team is trying to win. Not worried about draft picks because they gave it away. But the play calling has just been really bad, and I don't know like if that's a sustainable.
I think that you're very conservative, and I think that you're trying to manage him and not put too much on him. And really, I think you have to turn him loose a little bit.
I think you have to turn him loose, and I think we watched Sean Payton and the Saints play. That Saints and 49er game. There were some really cool plays. We see him every Saturday in college, and then we see teams like Baltimore, New England does stuff every week, the Chiefs, and I feel like the Steelers are still running like the same generic set of plays they've been running for the last 30 years. They love that horizontal screen to the wide receiver that I absolutely hate.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess my one sort of dour Steeler moment right now would be as exciting as it is going for the rest of the season, right? No matter what happens. They finish 500. Deontay Johnson is starting to look like a great pick. James Washington has come into his own. The defense, all the players, the Minka Fitzpatrick trade. Mason Rudolph, the heir to the throne, doesn't look like he's an NFL player in my mind.
I think that with everything that happened to Mason Rudolph, the benching and the allegations and everything, I think he's done.
Yeah.
I think he's done in Pittsburgh for sure.
And as much as I love the Duck,
and I feel bad for him. I don't think we'll ever know how good he could have been, but I know that he'll never do what he was destined to do.
No. And as much as I love the Duck,
yeah.
And I was shouting for the Duck from the day they put him on the he was in a first preseason game. I thought he could play. I still don't know if he's an NFL starter though.
Yeah, you see the diagram they put up today with his record against Cal Murray's and what they were each paid.
Yeah,
with the signing bonus was.
It's pretty crazy. But then you add in the fact that Roethlisberger looks like he ate himself, and he's 39 years old. He's got a lot of miles on the tires, a lot of injuries. And you look at guys that age that just fall off. And, even Tom Brady doesn't look like, 43 is going to be a good... He looks very human this year. And Tom Brady is the one that takes care of his body more than any player ever. And I don't think you could make that argument for Roethlisberger. So, next year you could be going into a situation where you've got this nice team, but who is your quarterback? And who's your quarterback of the future? Which is the most important position in all the sports. And I think
there's a news flash on ESPN. Patriots won't re-sign AB.
Oh. I thought they couldn't re-sign him after the 30th.
No, nobody's going to sign him because you don't know. You can sign him and then they're going to put him on the exempt list. Whoever signs him, he's not playing this year.
Yeah. That's true.
And he's had so much off time. But he's on the radar, so that's what's happening.
I bet he's ready to go.
Where? To play football or to jail?
Well, both. But I think as far as being able to step onto a football field and produce, I think he could do that in a heartbeat.
Oh, I think he could too, but I think he's nuts.
Yeah, I think he's very nuts. And I would like to see him somehow get some help, which I don't think he's going to get now.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a sad documentary we're watching in 15 years on HBO, which I hope we're not. But I just think he really needs some help. And I don't know how much of it was the concussions and everything else, and just maybe it added to everything, but I really do want to see him get some help. But we also got to talk about a Patriot loss. They've now lost 3 games this year.
So Dabo's going off now. First time ever a team won a national championship, went undefeated, started the season ranked number 1, finished third without losing a game.
He's got a point.
He does have a point. But they're all stirring it up. The Ohio State coach said, we went into the game ranked number 1, we win, and now we're ranked number 2. Go figure.
Yeah. I mean, you all got into the playoffs. You wanted the play. I don't know what else you want.
Yeah.
I think they all have legitimate arguments.
I don't know if Memphis should have been the non-power 5 to get in, though. I'd have given them the nod to App State.
Yeah, I think so.
But it is what it is. But Memphis is playing Penn State.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens. The Yankees going to have for Garrett Cole $243 million.
That's a lot of monies.
It's the biggest contract ever.
But New York is a pretty high tax state. Not that California isn't. But
it's a battle. I think that was a wash.
Is that a wash?
I think pretty much so, yeah.
My understanding is that Garrett Cole is very much a California guy, though.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He's a California guy.
And I think when you're, it's easy to talk.
Grew up a Yankee fan, though.
What's that?
Grew up a Yankee fan.
It's true, but I think when you're offered the kind of money he's going to be offered from California teams and New York teams, I think you're living where you want to live, I think, becomes a factor.
Yeah, I mean, he grew up in Newport Beach. I mean, he's right there. Newport Beach is like 10 minutes from the Angels Stadium.
Yeah. And again, I mean, if it's...
A lot to say for that.
Yeah. And there's other ways to make money and things along those lines, and it's going to be $200 million from somebody.
Yeah. Or it's going to be more than $243 million now. I mean, $243 million is now, somebody's going to get $250 or something. Some ridiculous number.
Yeah. Must be nice.
Yeah, I feel bad for all these non-power 5s. Memphis' coach just left to go coach Florida State, and Appalachian State guy just left to go coach Missouri.
Yeah, I mean, it's the latter.
I'm sure Cincinnati's coach would go somewhere else too now.
Oh, without a doubt.
And the bad thing is, I mean, they're going to bad programs in bad situations. And, the Florida State thing, I think you can recover. I don't think you can recover Missouri.
No.
You're in the SEC. Maybe you're still in the Big 12, yes. But I just don't think that's one of the things.
No, but I'm sure it's probably more money than you make at Appalachian State in 3 seasons or 4 seasons. And you wouldn't be a head coach if you didn't have the confidence you could get it done somewhere else anyway. So.
That's correct.
Or you'd hope you couldn't be.
I think we got any more sports. The Bucks continue to play really well in the Lakers. I mean, those are like the two best teams in the NBA by far.
Yeah.
It's fun watching Giannis. He's got a few more pieces around him that make sense. And LeBron looks like he drank out of the fountain of youth.
Yeah, I was thinking how they're making Space Jam 2 with LeBron?
Mm-hmm.
I think the twist should be that LeBron, they find out, midway through the movie that he's actually an alien that was sent, that left the alien race. And then he's sort of rejected by his teams, but, then there's a whole beautiful thing about coming together. Because that would explain who he is and how he works on this planet. It's a 6'9", 290 pounds of everything.
Remember, those two teams are just rocking.
And Luka Doncic continues to just pour it on.
Yeah, it was my MVP pick. I mean, I love him.
Yeah, I think the only problem with him is his narrative is peaking too soon. And I think there's going to be some Luka backlash coming. I don't know when. I just feel like it might happen.
Okay.
Not saying he would deserve it. I just feel like, you've seen this cycle enough throughout your life, and it's like, I could see that happening. That's all. Hopefully not.
I hope not. I hope he's like a combination of Dirk and Larry Bird, and I hope he just keeps playing and playing and playing.
I mean, people still love Giannis. It's hard not to like him. So.
Yeah. You said you had a food moment this week.
I did. I went to a restaurant down here called The Pharmacy, and I'll spell it for people because it's not spelled with a PH, it's with an FH. So pharmacy, more like a farm. And I would say they're best known for their wings. They also make excellent burgers. But their wings, fresh chicken, delicious, crispy, all that good stuff. But what's cool is if you're a spicy person, I didn't do this because I'm a wimp, but for $1 you can go to the ER where they'll infuse any of your wings with ghost pepper sauce. And if you want to go to the ICU, it's also $1, and then they infuse Carolina Reaper, which I think is one of the hottest peppers a person can eat into
Yeah,
the
I
food.
think that's a wise move on your part.
Yeah, I just wanted. I mean, I'm good. I just wanted the delicious taste, the rig of the buffalo. But they also have some beer and some cocktails, and it's kind of cool. It's in a shotgun house, which is just a long, skinny house. So one side is a bar you can sit at, and then they have an open kitchen. You can watch them cook, and then the rest are just a couple little tiny tables around the sides.
What about sides to go with your wings and burger? Did you have anything?
I didn't. They offer fries, tater tots. Um, it's also they have some Asian influences there, so they also have some different Asian things as well. So
It's interesting that tater tot is making such a resurgence right now.
yeah. Well, I mean, I think people are like fries are everywhere. So if you can offer, I mean, I know it's
Yeah.
basically a different kind of French fry on some level. It's still fried potato, but
Well, I didn't have a food moment this week. I have an entertainment moment. I picked up on Evil, the CBS show,
yeah,
and I have really, really enjoyed it. And this Thursday night is the season finale. And they have an episode where they're taking something that really happened and wove it into the story. So I love those kind of things when they're able to do that. But I really thought it was a really good series. And if people haven't watched it yet, go on demand and watch it because it's well acted. It's logical. It's reasonable. It's still scary. And the casting is amazing. Really good casting.
okay, that's good to know. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Well,
And hopefully I don't know if I have any food. I'm going to Minneapolis, and it's going to be -10 when I get there, and the high next is going to be -1. So I don't know if I'm going to be in the mood to go out and adventure look for some things.
yes,
So I'm tending to doubt, but I think I'm going to eat as close to my hotel as I can, or in my hotel for that matter.
yes. Well, for our Patreon and other listeners, next week will be a normal show. Then the week after, we're going to record together. And then we haven't figured out New Year's if we're going to have we'll probably try to put something up for you. But with the holidays coming, the last 2 weeks might be a little bit more awkward times that we put up. Less normal Monday nights kind of thing. But we're still very thankful and appreciative.
Yeah, really appreciate it. We're thankful for all of our listeners. We wish everybody a great holiday season. We're going to put together some interesting shows. But still, give us some feedback on those shows. Everybody knows my Twitter. Everybody knows my email. So send me the stuff, and Jason and I will talk about it, and we'll try and do those things. We love input.
We love questions, too. If you guys have a question you want answered on the air, we'd love doing those. So, yeah.
All right. Everybody have a good week.